All right, gentlemen, a quick walkthrough of the plan tomorrow. We'll go over this before kickoff as well, but want to get through some things. Game day roster, you've seen it. Just make sure that I didn't miss anyone on there, but obviously we have a couple new phases with Andrew coming with us and then Abdu as well. So it'll be important that these guys are on the same page. So game day itinerary, a little bit shortened from what Matt had sent out before, but we leave Minneapolis at 10:45. We'll arrive in Des Moines at 2:30. We'll leave at 5 o'clock for the stadium. So that gives us 2.5 hours to kind of recover from the van ride, get ourselves in the right place mentally, and then we'll hit the stadium at 5:15. Got some time there to get dressed. Obviously, you have the ability to get out on the field, knock the ball before we start our warm-up at 6:10. Objectives. I think if you look at some of the control we had in the first half against St. Croix, a lot of it came down to our ability to keep the ball. We had close to 240 passes in that first half, scored 2 goals, had a lot more control. So again, on Saturday, again, the focus has to be on control with the ball. 300 passes as a target. We hit 370 with St. Croix. Part of that is being able to defend with the ball, so we control the pace of the game. Low risk, high impact decisions on the ball. We solve it collectively versus solving individually on the dribble, choosing our moments to take space on the dribble versus when to keep the ball, keep controlling things. So that's one thing. In addition to that, looking at our attacking objectives is see the space. So especially when we're going to be playing against a 3-5-2 and we can get their wing backs caught out, if we're able to stretch their back three with our front three and get into those spaces in the width early, we go and we attack it with purpose. It's not just big balls hitting the space, but we understand that that's the room that their shape gives up. Defensively, we're going to keep beating this drum. Guys, we haven't had a shutout yet. It's important that we have that mentality to keep the clean sheet. Be sharp from the start. Shouldn't take us 10 to 15 minutes to find our way. It's the early goals that are putting us behind the 8 ball and chasing games and leaving ourselves open. So no early goals. Focus on keeping that 0 on the board and controlling. We will spend more time in our 4-1-4-1 against the Menace. We don't really feel like we need to press, and their quality in the back opens us up a little bit more. So we'll control a little bit more with our 4-1-4-1, which is our base shape. More medium block, top of the center circle, but we'll have that freedom to press on cues. So Eli typically will be the one that we release from that midfield line to go with Loic and press. Okay? So we're looking at bad touch, center back facing their own goal, uncomfortable goalkeeper, slow pass, the pressing traps that we're going to look at. Transition to attack is similar to some of that last piece on attacking objectives. If we're able to attack the space that their shape leaves, we go early. But if that's not on, we're not going to put ourselves into another transition. So if we can read the cue, control the tempo, again, understanding when is it right to go and when is it right to slow it down. And then transition to defending, it's important that we maintain that 3-2 base in possession, which we've used the last 2 games, and that will help us better on the turnover. In addition, being able to be quick to repress and counter press when we lose the ball, again, keeps us from having to defend in long periods, and it keeps them from finding their rhythm and attack. So starters, pretty similar to the last game. Jack will come in for Ben in this game. Again, we have Loic at the 9, Luca and Eli as the 2 10s, and Aiden as the 6, Herbert and Zach as the wide players, and Wes and Xavier as our 2 outside backs with Martin in goal. Just a reminder what this looks like. Again, the 3-2 base. So in this one, Jack is going to be the left side of the 3, Jonah be in the middle, and Xavier comes and reconnects. Wes is going to be released to go on and attack their back line. What we're going to ask from Wes is to read the game and understand the moment. Des Moines has more quality. They're more likely to punish us if we get caught in between shifting into the shape. But it's important that we're able to establish this 3-2 base to help with our transitions. With Eli and Loic up front, Eli does a really good job of running and threatening the space. So Loic, you have that ability to come back and drop in deeper. Don't feel like you're sewn to the back line as much. You can come in and find the ball and release Eli in behind. We need this to be a little bit more dynamic. We need to make sure we're using the qualities of those 2 players more to get into the space behind. A couple of highlights from our first game, actually, from St. Croix. What I want to show here is just some of the quality of our possession and some of the opportunities it's presenting. So in this case, We're building, we're collecting passes, we're getting numbers around the ball, and we even turn it over here. But this is what our collection of passes does. It kept the distances short. We were able to win the ball right back, and then our first pass is forward, and we're able to go. So if you watch again, this is off a set piece. We reset it. We swing the ball. We have good structure here. So we're playing. We get the game forward, combining. Nothing too complicated. Just simple connecting to feet. We turn it over, but our distances are short, and then able on this moment to get forward right away. It's the same thing against Des Moines. They're going to be collectively organized in that first moment. But it's when we lose it and then regain it, what do we see as far as counterattacking opportunities? Another clip. Again, we regain the ball, and from there, what's our choice? So the important thing on this to note is we regain and we get to the other side, or we start to shift. That movement to shift actually opens the lines up. Jameson's able to find that ball in between lines, and then we're able to go and put Herbert in a good place around the box. And this is the moment where we want Herbert dribbling and driving. So if we watch again, and this is the power of the habit of regaining and trying to switch the point. We're able to win it. West gives it to Jameson, and just the thought of Jameson rolling his hips and opening stuff up, St. Croix starts to shift, and now we can play that killer ball, and we can break. And the same thing, this is where we got center mids running at their back line. It's 4 versus 3, and we're in a good moment. So, guys, a couple really good things that we were able to reproduce, and that obviously is still going to be fitting against the back 3 /5 at Des Moines. Reminder on the goal kick situation. Based on their last couple games, they've been pressing from the inside out, so forcing us wide. So again, positioning of our outside backs with our wingers, the 2 and the 7 here, to play around that block and to force that 2v1. How do we get that wing back to step out to our outside back, and then what space does that free up? It's important that the front 3, the 7, 9, and 11 stay high so they can pin their back 3 to make it a 3v3. Defensive shape, we've seen this a bunch of times now, so we should know it. Really staying connected, staying tight. We'll get some images here of the importance of having good distances between lines, but our trap is there, especially with the 3-5-2 and their wing backs. Their wing back will sit right into our pressing traps, so we got to make sure we're ready. Reminders from a shape perspective, we want our center mids, so the 8 and the 10, to be always pressing inside out. So in this case, the 8 jumps, the 6 slides up to cover his back, and we reconnect and deny that space. Another one, ball is now to the wide center back. Our 8 again has stepped coming inside out, so his momentum continues to force the game wide, which would play this center back into that trap with our 7 and 2. So again, it'd be Eli and Luca in this case. They're able to jump out and press the wide center backs, but it's coming from inside out. We want the wingers to stay connected and be ready to press on the wing backs. So a good image. So this is from the first game. Here is an example when we mean by the space between the lines is too big. So Des Moines is very good at the big diagonals out from wide center backs to opposite wing back. We need to make sure as we read this cue that the gap between our midfield line and our back line tightens up. Des Moines has the quality to combine instantly on the first touch and take advantage of it. If you compare the prior image to the next one where we're penetrating into that wing back and look at the numbers that we have around it. The distances are shorter. We're able to get numbers from all directions around the ball and regain. So again, prior, there's about a good 20 yards between lines. The next one, we're looking at like 10 max with our holding mid able to make it a 5-yard sprint to close down. So that will be important. Set pieces, I think we're getting better at getting the service that's going to keep us dangerous. With Jack back in the fold, Wes and Jack will be the free players to defend corners defensively. We'll keep Louis high. So in the past, Herbert was released wide. We're going to keep Louis high and have Herbert come in and defend. Attacking free kicks. Obviously, Luca's been on the ball, but, Louis has shown an aptitude to be successful and be dangerous. And then obviously when Leo's in the game, that opens that up to be on the ball as well. Good. Just a reminder, this will look like Wes will be at the front of the six, Jack's on the back. Mr. Zusi will be on the front post, dealing with that, and the Weeks at the top to be released. Same thing from an attacking perspective. We'll leave Zach and Jonah high, and then we'll have everyone else come in. We do have, obviously, Lucas serving. We have the ability to pull Aiden out to create a short corner or other options. So, guys, there's not a reason to really drastically change what we're doing. It's more the mentality and maintaining the level of focus and execution through 90 minutes. Des Moines has the quality to abuse us in one bad moment, and we need to make sure that those are eliminated if we want to get out with a good result against the team at the top of the table. The gap isn't massive from quality. It's more of the gap and mentality and desire to do the job over 90 minutes. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow around 10:45.